Good morning, listener. This is Kasfur, and welcome you all again on my channel. Stay. We are at the end of this month, and today is 31st of October. I am here to give you a morning dose. So, before jumping to the top stories for the day, if you haven't subscribed my channel, do subscribe and stay up. Start with a story. Mukesh Ambani tells on telecom industry again. India's telecom industry is split again, this time on Supreme Court order asking the already braced sector to pay dues and penalties worth over 92,000 crore. Reliance Jio Infocom Limited criticized industry's lobby Cellular Operator Association of India, letters urging a government panel to prioritize the adjusted gross revenue issues and suggest relief measure within 2 months. Reliance Jio completely disagree with the intent, tone, content, and the contonation of the COAI letter. The letter does not represent the industry view by any stretch of imagination, said by the Mukesh Ambani to the news reporters. We take strong umbrage at COAI exploiting the legitimate payout obligation to create alarmist propaganda for the doom of the telecom sector in the country. Number 2. India is planning to open 100 additional airports by 2024 as a part of the plan to revive economic growth in Asia's third largest economy. People with knowledge of the matter told news analysts. The proposal, which include starting 1,000 new routes connecting smaller towns and villages, was discussed at the meeting last week to review infrastructure needed by 2025, the people said, except to start a plain lease financing businesses in the country was also discussed, they said. Number 3. Indian export can grow to close to 10% annually, allowing for a doubling the quantum of the outbound shipment every 7 years, said a government-appointed committee looking into the country's export competitiveness. Achieving that level of the growth consistently, though, all require a range of steps which help improve the elasticity of India's export related to global export growth. The steps range from introducing long suggested labor reforms, reducing the corporate tax rate cut, and the bringing down the cost of the capital, the committee said. The committee acknowledged that not only the India's export performance stagnated, it has deteriorated related to the rest of the world. Number 4. The Sensex crosses the 40,000 point yesterday. The Indian equity benchmark S&P BSE Sensex extended gain for the fourth consecutive trading session to end a near 5 months high. The 31 share index rose 0.55% to close to above 40,051 for the first time since June 4. The NSE Nifty 50 rose 0.54% and ended at 11,850. The 6 out of 11 sectoral gauge compiled by NSE ended higher. The share of Indigo operator in Interglobe Aviation Limited surged more than 8%, their best daily advance since early 2016, after placing 300 aircraft order with the Airbus worth over $30 billion. Number 5. There is limited relief to the real estate consolidation as India's developers find it tough to raise funds. Well-funded larger peers have either taken over or are helping complete stressed projects, but that help only a small number of under construction apartment blocks with no substantial boost to real estate sell. A year ago, the sector was still limping out of the setback. Prime Minister Narendra Modi overnight cash ban in November 2016 and the goods and services tax rollout when non-bank crisis broke. As AAA rated ILFS group defaulted on repayment, credit dried up for the non-banking financiers and builders, aggregative stressing. Residential tower worth of 4.62 lakh crore with 4.54 lakh homes have been stalled in the top 7 cities according to JLL India's report. 6. As consumption slows in India, consumer goods maker could be looking at the cutting prices to drive a volume, but that will depend on how much room commodity costs provide. Indians have cut back spending on biscuits and shampoos to car and stagnated wage growth and falling rural income, dragging GDP growth to 6-year low. Second quarter earnings so far have shown that either volume growth has stagnated or fallen. Commodity costs fell for makers of soaps and paints, giving them a cushion to cut prices, but input costs have risen for biscuits and coconut oil companies. And the last news for the day, which is Brexit means partition for Indian businesses. Indian producer exporter face a choice between two partitions with a Brexit, writes Raza Bhalla. Option 1, that is set up a manufacturing operation in one of the remaining 27 EU members. Option 2, retain investment in and supply chain to the UK. Only one of those two options is optimal for the Indian businesses. So that was all top stories that you need to know to start your day.